It is episode 168, and welcome into the Benches Clear podcast, where we cover the best rivalry in all of sports. I am Jesse Gutierrez, and I represent the side of the San Francisco Giants.
And do I even need to say who I represent? Like, this is Dave representing the Dodgers, man, who apparently did something to ruin the sport yet again.
They always, which this is what I've been saying ever since I've been about 10 years old, that you guys are ruining the sport just with your existence. But we'll get into that. But I think everyone, we're doing this emergency podcast. Obviously, we were going to take the week off because Dave is still sicky poo. He's even trying to leave the episode right now. I think he's probably getting an inhaler, maybe some oxygen, maybe getting his life alert just in case he falls. I don't know. But we're here to talk about the number one international signing, and obviously we're talking about the Giants signing Husar Jesus Gonzalez, who is apparently going to be the next Francisco Lindor in 5 years. So you just stay with us for 5 years, and then we're going to be the good ones, and then Dave is going to be crying that we're ruining baseball, apparently.
Yeah, exactly. Or I'll have people, message me, quote tweet me telling me that I hated the KD move and I was making fun of it. So now I'm a hypocrite. Whatever it is, we'll be here for that.
I got a couple burners, so I'm not sure.
It was you, wasn't it? I knew it was you.
Somebody I created.
The wording was too similar. I'm like,
yeah. Which, let's be honest. Can we be honest for a second? It's a little similar. It's a little similar.
I'd love for you to explain to me how a guy who has yet to
because you're joining a super team. You're joining a super team. It's a little similar.
But that's okay.
You're supposed to be the next big thing. Whether he could be a bust or not, but he's being marketed as the next big thing. Hey, this guy is as good as sliced bread. He's the next Vanilla Ice. He's it, and then you join a super team. So I'm not saying it's exactly alike, but I'm just saying you can kind of connect them a little bit.
It's really not, because we're talking about a rookie. He's coming in a rookie. He's not a polished, not a finished product. I don't think he's going to come in and dominate right off the bat. He's going to have to acclimate to, the new league and everything. And we don't know how long that may take. And if it doesn't work out, we don't know. So there's a lot of variables for people to be like, oh, it's like KD. Like, this isn't an established player from the Yankees who just lost the World Series. This isn't Aaron Judge. If Aaron Judge just joined the Dodgers, then you have every right to
if Juan Soto joined the Dodgers, it would be.
If Juan Soto joined the Dodgers,
then it would be shocking. Yeah. But at the same time, I understand. Listen, you guys are the most spoiled fan base in sports. I was going to say in baseball for sure, but in sports, probably. Yeah, I'm pretty comfortable saying that. The most spoiled fan base in all sports. Every trade deadline, you're getting somebody.
I mean,
every
Chiefs,
free agent,
right?
Every main free agent goes to you guys. So I get it. It's normal to you guys, but at the same time, we're gonna hate it, and we're gonna hate on it any chance we can get.
But here's the thing: like, it doesn't happen overnight. You have to build a model of success over time to attract players. Even though we lost in the playoffs year after year, teams saw that, like, look at these guys. They're always there. I want to be there. I want to be part of that.
Right.
Maybe we'll and then my thing is, how do you go from who cares who they sign? Who cares what they do? They're going to choke, to suddenly being like, hold up. We need to fix this. We need to stop this. We need to stop baseball because they're ruining the damn sport.
Because you won one and we're sick of it. I'm so that we had one thing to look forward to. We as baseball fans, we have one thing to look forward to, and it's the crying Kershaw. It's the Dodgers choking, and you took that away from us. So we have to deal with you dominating a season, but at least you choked in the playoffs, and we can make jokes about it. Now we can't make jokes about it this year, and it pisses me off. So you know what? Change all the rules. I don't.
the beautiful part of the Roki signing is that it didn't even take money. It wasn't about the money. You know what I
Well,
mean? Like
it did take
everybody had
money.
a
It's the
fair,
largest international signing since 2017 when they put the restrictions on.
but everybody had a fair shot, right? Everybody,
No, oh
yeah,
stop. Okay,
everybody
hold on.
could have had a
Listen,
hold.
listen. I'm not Jim Bowden.
Linda, listen.
I'm not him. Okay, I'm not one of the owners that's crying about if the Dodgers broke the rules or not. Which I'll be honest with you, I don't know what the rules are, what's allowed and what's not allowed. There might be some stuff that the Dodgers did that wasn't allowed that shouldn't be a rule. Like, yeah, I don't know if recruiting before he declares is against the rules. But if you're friends with Yamamoto and Otani, you're going to talk. It is what it is. But to say that every team had a fair shot, are you sure about that?
I think so.
Are you sure? Everything I'm not gonna lie to you. I wanted to not believe it because I really didn't want him to go to the Dodgers. But I said it. I mean, was it last week or the week before where I was like, it just seems like they are covering their ass to where it doesn't seem they can argue that it's a fair shot. I was like, they're putting out things that, oh, no players are allowed, and it's like, no players
For
are
the
allowed.
first
Why would
meeting,
you
for the
not want
first meeting,
players
yeah.
allowed? Why would you not want players there? Are you like trying to be like, see, Otani's not fucking what's the word I'm looking for that I can't even speak right now?
Recruiting.
Influencing me. Yamamoto's not
Okay.
influencing me. I'm doing this all on my own. It was the Dodgers. It was always going to be the Dodgers. Maybe the Padres are able to sneak it away because I guess Yu Darvish is his mentor, but that was even a long shot. It was always
Which to me was always weird how they're like, well, he's almost like a father figure. I'm like, where's his dad? I don't know the situation there, but I'm like,
right. That's true.
If my son was being
Well,
recruited and then
oh,
they're like,
if I'm not mistaken, I think something kind of tragic happened to his dad. If I'm not mistaken,
okay.
I could have
I
swore
wasn't very sure.
I heard something. I could be making this up. I could just be like I thought I heard something. Might have to do some investigative work. Maybe we'll try to Google something during the show. I don't know, but
Maybe we'll do research before we start talking next
but it could be nothing. But it also could be something. So, but yeah, let's not pretend.
But I also thought it was overblown, dude. Like, if you're a 23-year-old and you're like, yeah, this 38-year-old is recruiting me. Yeah, I have an immense amount of respect for him. But also another one of my good friends who's 25 years old and is just transitioned to MLB is also recruiting me. Like, what are you really going to choose there, right? And I mean, all things being equal, the Dodgers didn't even put out videos of him in a Dodger gear or anything like that, like the Padres did. Like, maybe they burst their bubble a little too early. Maybe that didn't help. He did the same thing with the Blue Jays. They didn't put out a video of it. So
well,
I don't know if
be
that helped
fair,
or
I'm
didn't
not
help.
sure if the team did. It looked like someone took a picture, like someone was like there and they took a picture, like someone working the grounds or whatever.
Well,
So
there was
it's
multiple videos. There was one on the ground. There was one from the stands. So
okay.
I mean, they couldn't help themselves. Not that it had any bearing on what the decision was going to be, but I'm just saying, like, that's, I don't know. It was just funny to me that the Padres were the only ones to put it out.
Yeah. Side note. Roki Sasaki's paternal grandparents and father were killed in a tsunami. So
All right. Well,
that's why. Maybe that's why the father thing
it went
happened.
dark pretty
Yeah,
quick. Huh?
yeah. So
Went
we
dark
take
pretty
that part
quick there.
back. My bad. Or our bad. Whatever. Shout out to you,
But,
Darvish.
I still stand by the same thing. Like, he's a 23-year-old. He's not a veteran or anything. So it made sense that he wants to be with maybe peers of his own age. So that's why Yamamoto was more of an influence than Otani, than Darvish. Like, that could make more sense, man.
The mental gymnastics you Dodger fans do about like he wants to be in the playoffs every year. He wants to be where there's not all that pressure. It is what it is.
All right. Well, if you were a player of his caliber,
Right.
where would you go?
Well, here's the thing.
And let's say
I'm trying to
the
think of
no, let's say the Giants had a really good team at the time, and they had an Otani, right? And you had a chance to go with that team, or you had a chance with a mentor, somebody who's older, but the situation is not good. Are you telling me you're going to go to the situation that's not good just for the optics? Just so everybody, so you
absolutely not. No. I'm not saying that
what mental gymnastics we're doing. What are we doing here?
the mental gymnastics is he was a Dodger. He was always going to be a Dodger, and like that, everyone had a fair shot. No one had a fair shot. The Dodgers had a huge advantage. Miles and miles huge advantage that, to their credit, mostly, like, I would say 99% they created. So it's not like they should be upset about it or be ashamed by it. But let's also not act like this was anything like that everyone had a fair shot. They didn't. The only reason that I feel like Roki Sasaki might have been a Blue Jay is if, like, he really loves Shohei Ohtani, and Shohei Ohtani just missed winning bets so much that he was like, hey, the odds are crazy for you going to the Blue Jays. I'm going to put $1 million on you going to the Blue Jays. You go, and look how rich we're going to be. So I don't think he gets to bet now because he has to kind of play low key. And now you guys are playing cover up again for a second year in a row. Like, this is, I know you guys are LA publicity, all that sort of thing. So the fact that you guys have to do cover ups every year is a little telling, but that's a whole nother story.
I mean, the media did not want him to go to the Dodgers. What are you talking about?
The media
most
stop it.
No.
Stop it.
You're going to give me
now.
Kenny Rosenthal. You're going to give me Kenny Rosenthal, and I'm going to give you like a bunch of reporters who said, "Oh, there's an 89%." Jim Bowden, there's an 95% chance he doesn't choose that. He doesn't choose the Dodgers. I have the Padres, I have the Blue Jays, and all this.
So someone quoting sources means he doesn't want to be there?
No. Then 5 days later, I think they had a deal. What happened to your prediction? What happened to the sources you were hearing? What happened to all that? Like, come on, man. Just because you were wrong, now the Dodgers are doing something wrong.
90% of every single fan that is not a Dodger fan did not want Roki Sasaki to go to the Dodgers. Maybe writers that are fans of teams didn't want to go, but the media and baseball media, they 100% want Roki Sasaki to go to the Dodgers. That is so much more clicks. That is so much easy, low-hanging fruit, like for traffic and clicking on their articles.
How many things
Stop
I read where it was like, oh, I think he chooses the Padres. I think he chooses this. Like, no.
Yeah, because they're trying to get clicks on their like I'm sorry. If every single article that came out that said, oh, he's going to be a Dodger, which, let's be honest, most of them were, oh, he's probably going to the Dodgers, but maybe somewhere else. That's what most of them were. Every once in a while, if someone's like, oh, this is why the Roki Sasaki will go to the Padres. Every Padres fan and probably every other fan base, because they're checking to see if, there's a glimmer of hope that Roki Sasaki doesn't go to the Dodgers, is clicking on that article. That's why they're writing the article. This is why the media, the national baseball media, loves the fact that he chose the Dodgers.
But I've said this before. I've said it already. Like, it doesn't matter who the Dodgers get. There's always going to cry. We got Kim, who's a utility player who we don't know. Everybody was like, oh, well, you shouldn't cry that he went to the Dodgers. He's not the guy to cry about. But They still did. And it doesn't matter. We can sign another utility player tomorrow, and they'll do the same. Oh, well, he always wanted to go to the Dodgers. Oh, blah, blah, blah.
What do you mean he always wanted to go to the Dodgers?
No,
this only been said about
matter.
Roki.
It just doesn't matter who we get or
and
how
Ohtani.
we get
They
him.
said about Ohtani and Yamamoto too, but that's because they're all intertwined.
Since we got Ohtani, none of it matters anymore. Recruiting doesn't matter. It's just like they just choose the Dodgers immediately. I don't think it's like that, but whatever. And yeah, I don't believe it. I choose not to believe it.
You could put your Dodger blinders and your Dodgers goggles on and convince yourself of that, but it doesn't mean that that's true. You're going to look at me and tell me that I'm wrong?
Well, let's look at the last three finalists, all right? and
Okay.
we'll look at the logical choice.
First off, we don't have to look after all 3 finalists. It was never going to be the Blue Jays.
Okay, we'll just look at the 2 finalists besides the Dodgers. We still have to look at them. The Blue Jays were in there, but they've always been the second place. They've always been the Giants coming up second and not landing anybody.
Yeah,
right?
And now we're not. We're coming in second place of coming in second. This is bullshit.
Exactly.
We can't even have that now.
You got the Padres, and when you think about it, who have the Padres signed, who have they signed that's a superstar that's chosen to go there? Even Yu Darvish was traded there. Everybody that they've gotten there,
Yu Darvish
most of the players have been traded there. Manny Machado is the exception, of course, but they had to give him a buttload of money for him to come over.
A lot of players signed there.
Give me a superstar besides Machado is signed there.
Xander Bogaerts was a superstar.
Look at the ridiculous money that they had to pay, and look at the awful contract they're stuck with.
100% true. I 100% agree.
It's not like, hey, I'm going to the Padres because that's the destination. You know, I'm not going to the Padres because they're giving me the most ridiculous money. Yeah, I'm going to go play there.
2-3 years ago, the Padres looked like they were on this ridiculous trajectory, and the Dodgers they're still going up, but they also were one wrong turn away from going down. But then they signed Ohtani and Yamamoto, and now the Dodgers, like 2 or 3 years ago, you could have easily chosen the Padres over the Dodgers because of what you thought the future might be. Now, you would have been completely wrong, but there was an argument there because you don't know if Ohtani's going to sign there, even though it was basically known that he was going to sign with the Dodgers.
But even then, man, Judge said no thank you to your ridiculous contract offer that you're going to pay me when... No, but regardless, he said no. Trey Turner, who was drafted by the Padres, said, no, thank you. And then they're like, you know what? Let's go for the 60-year-old Bogaerts. He won't say no if we give him any amount of the most amount of money we can come up with. So, I mean,
what was it? 11 years? He's under contract till he's 40.
Yeah,
and you're making fun of us for signing a 40-year-old Justin Verlander, and this guy's getting paid like $30 million a year.
It's still funny. I mean, it's still funny. It's still hilarious.
The crazy disrespect that Justin Verlander is getting is insane. Because it's not like he's like two years removed from having a bad year. He had one bad year at 41. Go back to his age 40 season, dominant. Age 39 season, dominant. Age 38 season, Cy Young. So let's.
Do you know why he gets the crazy disrespect? Do you remember what team he used to pitch for?
Because his wife.
Do you remember him as a Tiger saying that he hated cheating, that he couldn't stand it? And then his team cheated, and he didn't have a word for it. He didn't have a single.
Now, Justin Verlander is a Giant. I am gonna blindly disregard anything negative about him, so I don't remember that. So that's all fake news. Anything that you say about him that's negative, that you have evidence for, is probably faked in AI. So
he was always going to get slandered because he's a Giant. Period. But now he's definitely always going to get slandered anywhere he went because he was always a Houston Astro. So
yeah,
that's
a little probably different. More. I mean, this was what? How did you? I mean, this is getting way off the tracks. Maybe we'll just do.
Yeah,
this
we're
really
way
quick.
out of topic.
Yeah, really quick. But what do you think he'll go down as, an Astro or a Tiger? I mean, a lot of his accolades were with the Tigers, but all of his rings were with the Astros, and he did win his Cy Young with the Tigers.
He's got to go.
With the Astros.
As an Astro, I think. Especially because he won with the Astros. So
yeah, that is true. I Hall of Fame wise, he might be an Astro. Who knows? Maybe he wins another Cy Young and he says fuck it and pitches till he's 45 with the Giants. He loves San Francisco so much he goes in as a Giant. You know, it could happen.
Sure.
So this Roki Sasaki guy and how he's bad for baseball.
Let's hear it.
What I will say is I just this whole conspiracy thing of like that every other team had an actual chance to sign him is insane. Like the things that you guys that I've seen online, that's like, oh, if other teams didn't have a chance, why did he meet with other teams? Well, he can't obviously come out and just say, oh, I already told the Dodgers I'd sign him. That's against the rules. So he has to make it seem
But
that way.
he couldn't come out and just say, "Hey, I want to sign with the Dodgers." That's
No.
not against the rules.
No, you cannot.
Why not? He's like, "I want to come over to MLB, and
Right.
I feel like I want to sign with one team and one team only." Why is that against the rules?
You're asking to get an investigation. He doesn't want an investigation. So what he's like, hey, what do we got to do? All right, we got to meet with teams. We got to meet with teams. We got to act like you don't want to hang out with Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto. You got to act like I said, but the Dodgers should not be ashamed of this, and it is not their. They should be happy about this. But let's also not. I'm just saying, let's not act like they didn't have a crazy unfair advantage and that any other team, besides maybe the Padres, had an actual chance of signing him.
I'm not going to keep defending the signing because whatever. But if the
because
Padres
you signed him.
Yeah, because we signed it. But if the Padres weren't in turmoil with their ownership, you don't think they had a very good chance to sign him?
No.
Well, then I think you're wrong. I think they had a very
good chance. No, I think they had a chance. I think the Padres had as much of a chance at signing Roki Sasaki as if the Giants had a chance to sign Aaron Judge. Like the Dodgers would have to fumble the bag a little bit the same way as the Yankees would have to fumble the bag a little bit. I think he was legitimately looking for a backup just in case the Dodgers try to pull a fast one and be like, nah, we're going to give you $1 million. You already said that you were going to come with us. Screw you. And then, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Now we're just playing what ifs. Like, now we're like,
that's not what ifs. I'm just saying, you always have a backup plan. Like, I think Aaron Judge legitimately was looking for a backup plan, but he wanted to stay with the Yankees.
I think the backup plan was the Jays. That was the ultimate backup.
For Aaron, for
Roki, yeah.
There's not a chance in hell that he would sign with the Blue Jays. It's almost like I feel like that was a joke, being like, yeah, what are the last 3 teams in? Do the Dodgers, Padres, and the Blue Jays, the team that
you're
everyone
talking about soft landing. Like, who cares about the Blue Jays, right? So he just goes there and does, tries to be good and develop or whatever. But there's no pressure there. There's pressure in with the Padres because you're
if you didn't care about pressure, if you didn't care about pressure and actually wanted to compete, you would have signed with the Giants, the best defensive catcher in baseball, or the best pitchers park in baseball.
You just dangle that defensive catcher everywhere and pretend that it's going to get you anywhere.
It's all I have.
You know what it got you? It got you a 40-year-old pitcher.
It's the dice move. It's all I got. I don't care if I'm doing it too much. That's all I got. So
that's all I got too.
You can compete. You can compete against Shohei Ohtani and Yamamoto. That would have been, hey, I actually want to compete in baseball. Now the Dodgers is a very soft landing as far as like actually performing.
Protecting his arm. As far as protecting his arm, I think it's is because they can easily put him 5th starter, and if he doesn't work out,
they can You're right. They can easily do a 6-man rotation and really protect his arm the same way they should protect Yamamoto's arm, the same way they should protect Shohei Ohtani who's coming back from Tommy John. So in that part, you are right. Yes, but they're always making deep postseason runs. So that's, I
already know how you feel. Like, I understand that you say that nobody else had a choice, but also when the other teams are like, hey man, we need you to come here. You're going to be our savior and all this. And you're not even fully developed yet. You're not what you are going to be.
You're not fully developed and you don't want to actually, believe that you're the man. Yeah, sure. When you're not him,
he's going to be the number 1 in any staff right away.
When you're not, if he was him, he would have been like, come on. He's not him.
All right.
He's not him in
regardless.
Neutron. Who's the sidekick in Jimmy Neutron? Did you watch that show? Was it Carl? Was it a Carl or was it a
Carl? No, that's something else. Is it Carl?
Like Gene?
Are you talking about the chubby one or the other one, the skinny one?
Yeah. No, the chubby one's his best friend, right? The big glasses, the redhead.
Yeah.
Really had a kid? That's him. Yeah. Okay? He's a sidekick now. Now he's the 3rd best Japanese pitcher on his own team.
Hey man, whatever. We got him. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? You can call him whatever you want to call him.
Oh, I'm gonna find out so many names. I'm gonna talk shit about him any way I can. And that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
I know it's because the Dodgers just won, and I know it's because they get a lot of players. But the truth is, had he gone to the Padres, had he gone to the Jays, I still would have watched him. I don't know if I would have rooted for him as much as a Padre,
Right.
but
You would have paid
I
attention.
still would have wanted. Yeah, I would have loved to see what he could do. And a lot of fans are like, "Nah, fuck that. Now he's dead to me." And I'm like, "Come on!" Like
now
he's
I'm
still
watching to root against him.
He's still potentially an all-world talent and could be the greatest and all this. Like, come on, stop being such haters.
I will be a hater to the day I die.
You're just taking some time off your life hating. Spend it more wisely.
Put me in the grave now because I'm the player haters ball player hater of the year. That's me all day. When he puts on the Dodgers uniform, I just hope he gets shelled. I never am wishing for an injury. I'm not that guy. I'm just wishing he stops playing baseball because he gets hit so hard. Like the balls that he pitches hit.
But
so hard.
You know what's funny? All these players who like even Logan Webb put out a Moonstars or whatever it was tweet.
Wait, you say Moonstars? Don't disrespect Space Jam. Monstars. Come on, Dave. What are we doing here?
It's because
we're talking about the greatest movie of all time, Space Jam. Okay.
But all these players, if they had the chance, they're going to the Dodgers. They'd definitely join as well. Stop. All these are acting like, oh no, I'd never do it. But you know why? Because you're under contract with another team, so you can easily say that you'd never do it. Blake Snell was hated by the Dodgers. Blake Snell hated the Dodgers, right?
Okay.
And then when he got the chance, guess where he went?
When he got the chance,
he loves LA.
$35 million a year. Yeah, sure.
Regardless, if you know what I'm saying,
hold on. So to say that Logan Webb wants to would rather be on the Dodgers instead of playing on the team that on the area that he grew up in, come on, no, absolutely not.
Hey, I'm just saying, man.
When
they're free agents.
Now you're being Gretchen Wieners, right? You're being Gretchen Wieners.
No. When they're free agents, you'll see.
I'm sorry
when they're free agents.
I'm sorry everyone hates me because I'm popular. That's you right now. That's what you're turning into.
I remember Paul Sewald in the beginning of the offseason was like, I'm a closer. I want to be paid as a closer. But if it's the Dodgers, I'll do whatever they want. I don't care. Like, that's every player's mindset, dude. And if you don't believe that, then you're in trouble.
I don't. That is you are taking, hey, a lot of players. Yeah, the Dodgers are a very attractive situation, and a lot of players now everyone would rather be on the Dodgers. Let's take it down a little bit. Some people like to compete.
If you can go the opposite way and say that nobody had a chance, then I'm going to say the same thing and be like, you know what? Everybody wants to be a Dodger. They just don't want to admit it yet. Deep down inside, they all want to be Dodgers.
No, they don't.
And in the end, when it's all said, it'll be just one team, the Dodgers, and we all just watch them play each other because they all joined the Dodgers. No more MLB. It's just one big ass team. It's just
gosh, it's just spring training. It's like COVID games.
Yeah, they're just
This is ridiculous. Man, I think one thing that we do need to address, besides the most ridiculous thing that you just said, is the state of the National League West. It's the best division in baseball. But I think one team is massively overrated. Man, I think the Diamondbacks are yes, massively overrated. No, I think the Diamondbacks have gotten a lot better on the pitching side. I'm not sure if they got better on the offensive side, but last year they were like, I think based on like runs per game, they were the best offense in baseball. Which they're not, but they were rated, so they're performing that way. I think that they're at least top three. You got to give them at least top three. So they did get worse, but I don't know how much worse. I mean, Christian Walker, Jock Peterson, who had a really good year for him, and Richard had a good year for him. I think that hurts them, but I still think they're very, very good.
It all depends on the health of Corbin Carroll, dude.
Yeah,
100%. If he's healthy, I think he elevates that team significantly.
100%. You're right. But I think the Padres are getting into overrated territory. I mean, they haven't signed
not
one
yet,
guy.
Not yet, but they're teetering, right?
No, I think they're in overrated territory. I still think that they're very good, but they are, I think, on a lot of lists, like the second best team in baseball. When it's like they've gotten significantly worse, and man, next year you're losing out on Michael King. You're losing out on Dylan Cease. I mean,
You're not talking
man,
about this coming year, right? You're talking about the following
yeah,
year.
that's what I'm saying.
This
Well,
year.
I said this year they're in overrated territory, and next year they're going to fall off a cliff, like even go further because they're losing those guys. I didn't realize. I don't know how I missed that Joe Musgrove was out for the year. Um, man, I just don't get me wrong. Manny Machado, certified stud. Fernando Tatis, Jackson Merrill, very good players, top 10, 15 type players. But man, Drake Cronenworth really fell off a cliff. Ha-Seong Kim, who was really good for them, is not on the team or is going to be out half the season. Jerkson Profar, even if he re-signs, do you really expect him to have another year like last year? That was a career year. Um,
I don't know,
Shit,
man. There's
man.
something about him in San Diego that just clicks. When he left San Diego, he
Yeah.
went to what? He went to Colorado.
Colorado.
Then yeah, Colorado, and then he went. I don't know if it was just there, but it was awful, right? And then he went back to San Diego, and it's just like just brings him back to life, kind of thing. So that's probably something that gets done at some point, unless somebody else pays him the bag.
I don't know. Are the Padres just not signing anyone right now? Like, are they like in like, oh shit, we gotta like fix thing, like we gotta like tank mode, or not tank, but we gotta significantly shrink payroll type mode.
Yeah, I think this year still it's like we're gonna compete, right? But then you got to think next year it's like do we start trading to re up the farm kind of thing? I don't know, but I think they'll be very competitive this year. I still think it's a battle for second in the NL West, and I don't know. I don't know who comes up on top because you're right. Like the Diamondbacks, the offense might not be as great because they lost a couple pieces, but if Carroll's good, then they might be right
It could
there,
be
and their
just as
pitching is
good.
really
I hate
good, so maybe
the
they
pitch.
don't
Yep.
need that much offense. Kind of like the
Yeah.
Giants, when they have good pitching, they don't need that much offense. They just scrape by with a couple runs.
Right.
But they've
Right.
they've also added pieces. You got the shortstop Adames and Alonso maybe? Like, he's out there
Right.
and the Mets apparently don't want him back. So
I no, I've been slamming the table for Pete Alonso. Um, Gosh, man, if you can get him for 125, I don't know how you don't make that deal. That is absolute insanity to me that a guy has done nothing but hit close to, if not 40 home runs every single year since he's been up. And everyone's being like, well, he's 30. Let's not give him more than 3 years. What the fuck? What are we doing here? We're talking about, oh no, the Giants, we're going to lose a third and sixth round pick for them. What are we doing here? Are we going to waste another year of Logan Webb, a prime Logan Webb? Are we going to sign Willie Adamas just to let him die? Are we going to waste one of the last prime years of Matt Chapman? Like, what are we doing here?
yeah, you're wasting all those years until they're free agents and they go to LA. Yeah.
Right.
That's basically what you're gonna do.
Well, oh jeez, stop. I was gonna say something, but it's gonna completely backfire. So, I'm about to say it. All right. I don't care
I'm
that
gonna
you
say
broke. That's what I say to Otani, because I know he's the one who convinced Roki Sasaki to sign with him. I don't care that you broke your elbow. Um, but I'm looking at Jerks and Profar's baseball reference page. Dude, this is the most alarming. Don't sign this guy. You can't expect him to have another season like this. Like, his WAR is 3.6. 2022, he did have a three WAR, but other than that, he hasn't gotten close to that shit. He hit over 20 home runs 3 years. Once in 2018, once in 2019, and then last year. Like, this is, you can't expect him to have another year like last year. There's just no way.
Yeah, and the problem is that he's probably trying to get his last bag here because if
Yeah.
he doesn't have another year like this, like he has to cash in now. So maybe he's out of the price range for the Padres, or I don't know who signs him, but unless he takes a friendly deal. But why would you if you're going to try to get your last paycheck here? So yeah,
Yeah, if you're trying to get your last paycheck, and also like I don't know, dude. I feel like the Padres were like there's no end in sight, and now I feel like oh my gosh, this is like their year. They should go all in this year or start tearing down now. Like try to see if you can get someone to take Manny Machado's contract because he's still good. Um, like just start
well, I don't know if
selling
it's
off
that.
pieces
I
now.
don't know if it's that
I think
drastic.
it
Is it?
is. I think
I
it. I
mean,
mean, maybe not this year because they have Michael King, they have Dylan Cease. If they're not trying to add any more payroll, and this is all they got, it's like, dude, this is your last year.
I
This
think
this
they
is
need to
it.
figure out the ownership first. And if the owners aren't trying to spend, then it's different. Then maybe the front office
100%,
is
yeah.
handcuffed,
Because
right? So
they get if they can re-sign a couple starters next year, and maybe bring in another bat, they're a very good team. But if they're gonna stand pat and be like, we're not adding anymore, that this is maybe the last year they have a chance to compete.
yeah, I mean, I hope not. I hope they continue to compete because it's good for the sport. It's good for the rivalry within the division.
Right.
So you don't want another Rockies. They're just there.
Well,
So
speaking for a team that's looking for as many wins as possible, sneak into a playoff run, I kind of want them to be a little worse than they are. But is it good for the sport? No. Is it better for the Giants to sneak into the playoffs? Yes.
yeah, yeah, I totally see it. So wait, so how do you have the rankings and
I
how would
think
you NL West?
I think it's Dodgers, Diamondbacks. Um I
You
think I
think the
leg-
Diamondbacks are a little better than the Giants right now?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
Diamondbacks right now with Corbin Burns. I was slamming the table that the Diamondbacks are not as good and this and that, but since then they've signed Corbin Burns. I mean, their rotation is ridiculous now. You got another top of the rotation guy who's going to give you probably 200 innings, and you have one turnaround season from a Corbin Carroll, and you're back. Like it's they're I mean, I think they're definitely number two, and I honestly think, man, if the Giants do sign another bat,
I
decent
don't
bat.
know.
Not talking
You're
about Randall Gritchick. I'm not talking about Randall Gritchick. They sign another bat. I
I
think that
think
they
you're
can.
really underestimating the Padres, but
I think they can hang with the Padres. I legitimately do. Am I stupid? Maybe. Am I overplaying the Giants' hand? Maybe. But I also believe in Tyler Fitzgerald. I believe in Heliot Ramos. If they made their way to being everyday players, if they continue to progress or just have another season where at that level, I think the Giants are a better team, especially 1 through 9 than people are giving them credit for. And you sign Pete Alonso? Come on, dude.
I just
Oh,
I don't I don't
just
know. I
do it.
think if it would be hilarious if the Giants and the Jays are bidding for Alonso,
Right.
he would just not play the year because nobody would sign him. He just end up on free agent the whole year because they never get anybody.
Well, everyone wants to be a Dodger, so maybe he just wants to be on the bench in a
That's
Dodger
fine.
uniform.
Designated home run derby player, whatever.
Yeah, doesn't he a home run derby player and just hope someone gets injured, I guess. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's wild.
All
That
right,
is
I
wild.
guess.
What were you getting into? Uh,
Well, we're gonna get into if you could trade a player, if you had a chance to acquire a player, but you have to take a bad contract with it.
okay.
Is there a player out there that you think you'd do that for?
I think if you're thinking about like the ones that have been talked about, right? Because I mean, the first one that obviously comes to mind is like, damn, Mike Trout. Like, the world wants him traded, but I think that if you live in Southern California, I'm sure, and if you've gone to Anaheim, I'm sure you've seen the billboards where it's like 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas for $44. They are legitimately just like giving tickets away at this point. There's no way they're going to get rid of Mike Trout. The one reason that people have to come to that ballpark. Um,
Hey, I
But
remember growing up. There was a time when the Dodgers were doing that,
yeah,
so I remember those days.
started from the bottom. Now you are there, and you
We are
suck, and
there.
I hate you. But I think, yeah, I think that I think there is definitely um some shockers out there. I recently found out that Anthony Rendon's contract is only for 2 years left.
But it's Anthony Rendon.
Yeah, but
It's even in the name, Anthony Rendon.
yeah,
You
no, I
know.
know, I get it. But here's the thing: when you only got 1 year left on the deal, like, or you're just like, hey, you're going to be a DH. Maybe he shows out for you, and if he doesn't, you just cut him because they're also sending you money and they're giving you Taylor Ward for it.
Also, a change of
I
scenery, maybe. Who
Yeah,
knows? Maybe.
yeah, I don't know. I think it's more like, hey, listen, just show up in DH. I know you hate baseball. Just show up and swing the bat, and then go home. That's all we're asking of you. And when you don't have a DH, that's possible, and it's only 2 years. And if it's still really bad for your clubhouse and it's whatever, see you later. If they send over Taylor Ward, as a consolation prize, I think and you would probably still have to, like, for the Giants part of it, you would still probably have to trade them Yaz for some money, to offload some money, Wilmer to offload some money, and they would still probably have to give you some cash. But you would get Taylor Ward for a couple years. I think that's intriguing. Um, the other one I was thinking about, which I'm not sure if I get two, but I'm going to give you two because I'm
You can give me
so
2, 3, 4, whatever you want to give me, man.
all right.
Go.
1 of 10. No. The other one I would think I know the Cardinals are desperately trying to get rid of Steven Matz because they're trying to play their young guys. I think they're also maybe trying to get rid of Wilson Contreras. Why am I'm saying William
Well, there's
Contreras?
there's there's been some
But
turmoil there, right?
right,
With
and
with
he's playing first
Contreras, yeah.
base from now on, and he's only got 3 years left on his deal, which is a lot shorter. You got Bryce Eldridge coming, and the way they're talking, they really want him to stay in the minor leagues, if not the whole year, most of the year this year, apparently. And then you'll have to deal with Wilson Contreras, being at the DH spot for a couple of years. Worst comes to worst, maybe he backup catches a little bit. Who
And,
knows?
and he also brings some flair, dude. Like he brings
Yeah.
some attitude to your team.
So
When
if if
so
if you take over Wilson Contreras' money and Steven Matz's money, maybe you just hope that Steven Matz can give you something out of the bullpen, or maybe you just cut him and you send him back Mike Yastrzemski to take care of that 11 million, or maybe you send him back fucking Taylor Rogers 11 million. You know what I mean? And then maybe give him a consolation prize of a Mason Black. They offload all that money. You get Wilson Contreras and his upside. You only have to give up a Mason Black. I think those would be pretty beneficial because, like I said, I think the Giants are one solid bat away from legitimately contending for a wild card spot. Am I crazy?
well, let me shoot you a deal then. I'll give you a lefty bat,
Give
but
me one.
you gotta take Chris Taylor with you. I'll give you
Okay.
Conforto.
Those are both your players.
No, I was trying to think of players that the Dodgers could get to hopefully get a reliever. But
Right.
the more I thought about it, it's like Christian Yelich would be awesome, but his contract is enormous, and
Right.
rushing is coming up, so maybe you don't need that. And then I also thought Arenado, but where are you going to put him? Maybe if Muncy gets hurt again, but you really don't have anywhere. So I think
Yeah.
I'd have to be on the opposite side of that. I'd have to give Taylor
Okay.
and in his contract with his 15 mil left, and maybe attach some prospect, get something back. But then you create room. Then you have room for Pajes, you have room for rushing to come up, and
Mm.
give them some time to see what they can do. So that's probably what I would want to do. Not so much receive someone, but ship off Chris Taylor because I think his time is done with the
Gosh.
Dodgers. I know he's a great
You
guy,
might
and I know
you
he's
might have
done a
to give him
lot
a
of
solid
good.
prospect because it's like he's not good. He's owed a decent amount of money,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
like you're not exactly like in the like who would want to get? You're not exactly getting a desirable piece. You're just offloading money, so you're gonna have to give them a decent prospect. Obviously, not like your top, and obviously no one like top 100 prospects, but someone that might actually hurt you a little bit. I don't know if like James Outman's just wasting away over there in AAA. Like you might have to just offload him too in the package because you got Pages.
Yeah, yeah. They could make that move, but I think they have a lot of respect for him and they haven't done it. So I don't see it. I think they're just going to keep him for the final year. But
Is next year his final year?
I believe so. I believe this is his final year. I think.
We will double check that in just a moment. But yeah, I get what you're saying, and I think in the reliever, like the only place that you can acquire anybody is a relief position, maybe. So if you're trying to acquire anybody that has like a closer type reliever, maybe like a Halsley, where you absorb even Arenado, but it's like you have nowhere to put him, so it would make no sense. The only thing is maybe you take Steven Matt's contract.
And that wouldn't even make sense because you're getting Kershaw at some point in the season back, and I know he's still a free agent, but they're obviously waiting until they can maneuver the 60-day IL, and then they'll probably sign him and whoever else it is, and yeah, but then you think about it, it's like why not just go pay for Tanner Scott if you're just if you need a reliever, right? Like so.
Not even Tanner, because Tanner Scott is a lot of money. Which if you're the Dodgers, you're printing money. Who cares? But dude, there's still a lot of good relievers out there. Kirby Yates had a good year. David Robertson's
still out there, right?
Yeah, Jansen, if you want to go more nostalgia. I don't remember how his year was, but David Robertson is always like really good, and he always just gets like a 1-year deal. So there's the relief market is aplenty. So it's like you don't even have to make those moves. The only reason the Dodgers would maybe make a move like that would be like to offload a Chris Taylor.
Yeah.
Like if a team's like, hey, I'm going to give you this reliever and we'll eat Chris Taylor's money, but you got to give me a good ass prospect, or we want James Outman. Maybe that you could make that work, but shit.
Yeah, because at this point, I think you're pretty much set with a roster, unless you're trying to make a move to get rid of, like I said, Taylor to bring Kike back, and it's pretty much set. I think they might bring Kike back, but I don't know. That I hope so, but I don't know. He might get better deals somewhere else.
Where the hell are you gonna put him? Chris Taylor's deal is technically this is his last guaranteed year. There's a club option for 2026 for $12 million, which I would imagine Dodgers will decline. They'll say thank you for your services.
Thank you for all the memories. Thank you for all you've done.
But, you're going to be 35 years old. You senior citizen.
You are free.
You need to.
We're releasing you.
Releasing you into the wild like the white dove you are. Just release, or look at the flowers. Pa! Shot done.
It kind of sucks to talk about players like that when they're getting to the end of their contract and stuff like that. But it's just you got to remember, it's also a business. Like you want the best players out there, and not just for nostalgia.
When you have a stacked team, that's how you. I mean, that's the same thing that we went through. I think obviously Brandon Crawford means a lot more to the Giants than Chris Taylor does to the Dodgers, but when it comes to those players, it's hard to sign them back for, prove it deals or non guaranteed deals because you can't DFA them. That's why people were really upset that, the Giants chose Nick Ahmed over Brandon Crawford as a utility guy. But it's like, you're not going to DFA
Nick Ahmed, by the way.
He was going to win a ring regardless because it was either you guys or the Padres, and he played on both teams. So, what's it called? But obviously the Giants had no problem DFAing Nick Ahmed. They would have they could not DFA Brandon Crawford. It's just they can't do it. You're basically making yourself a 25-man team, not 26. So. there's that.
Yeah, and that's basically what I think that they have too much respect for Chris Taylor. They're not going to DFA him unless he's completely horrible, and he's been that before where he's like gone 0 for like what 30 or whatever it is, it stretches, and I don't think he's going anywhere. I think they're going to ride it out.
Yeah, I would think so too. If any, I mean, they might trade him to do something a little crazy, but they honestly don't need to. The Dodgers were the best team. I don't want to say by far, but kind of by far last year, and they've gotten a lot better this year, especially just with Ohtani pitching, Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki. They made a lot of moves, so we shall see. Hopefully, they go back to the same old Dodgers that we know and love, and just go back to choking, to losing to whatever wild card team comes in the fold, like the Diamondbacks or the Phillies or the fucking random, maybe the Pirates do it next year. And O'Neal Cruz, it's a walk-off against Shohei Ohtani.
It does suck that a lot of their, it's weird to say that, a lot that it sucks or whatever, but a lot of their young pitchers, some of them are missing. Gavin Stone's going to miss the year, I think, because of his the surgery.
Oh, wow.
Who else? River Ryan, who I had really high hopes for. I really loved watching that guy pitch, man. He's also missing. So, and then, you don't know what you're going to get out of Bobby Miller. So you can never have too much pitching.
Right. 100%. Is it, I hate to play into this, but I'm going to because I hate you.
Thank you.
But all the guys that you guys develop are very injury prone.
Here's the thing.
Do we think that that's a pattern for the Dodgers?
No.
Or are we thinking it's just a pattern? It's just normal what happens in baseball nowadays?
I think it's a little bit of both, but I think I'll explain it because the Dodgers are always in the playoffs, and when you draft, you don't really get high draft picks. So their mindset has always been like high reward, high risk. It was like that with Bueller. Bobby Miller seems to be like the guys that throw fast. There's always a ticking time bomb on their arm. It just seems like nowadays, you're if you throw 100, you're gonna get Tommy John at some point in your career. So all these guys that that are throwing hard, it seems like it's just gonna happen. It's been throughout the whole sport. It just looks worse for the Dodgers because they always pick these guys that are high reward but really high risk.
That's a very nice political answer. I'm going to take it as Roki didn't know what you don't know what you did, Roki. You ruined baseball. You ruined it for all of us. You're supposed to bring balance to the force and all that kind of stuff. Not leaving it dark. What is the
I thought you were gonna finish the quote.
I don't know the rest of the quote. I'm not a Star Wars guy. Okay? I started and I couldn't finish. Oh gosh. You were meant to destroy the Dodgers, not join them.
A storm here.
Oh, jeez. I know. Well, man. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. It's been great. Man. We just got hit in the face.
I promise to do a lot more trolling next time when I'm feeling a little bit better. I know a lot of people expected more trolling because we signed Sasaki, but I just, I feel,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna knock out as soon as we're done with the podcast.
Because I'm gonna knock your ass out. Anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure to like and subscribe. Make the algorithm love us. Make sure to follow us on your socials, on your favorite podcast platform, all that good stuff. And Dave, do you have anything for him?
Yes. All this energy, all this hatred you have for the Dodgers. Hold on to it because we're about to sign Tanner Scott and you're going to get even more mad.
I'm going to kill somebody if that happens. Thank you. We'll see you guys next week.